What's up guys, Tony Hannity's here from Lazy Tech TV, and I actually got an interesting comment that I didn't think I would get. One of you guys asked me for a what's on my phone video. I don't know, I just didn't think that anyone would have any interest to see what would actually be on my phone. But in any event, like other reviewers out there, I've got quite a few phones, including like 6 more somewhere else. And I do use them all from time to time. But in regards to my daily drivers, there's actually maybe 2 or 3 devices that I wanted to showcase. So this is going to be broken up into 3 separate videos. The first one today is going to be my main daily driver, which is my Nexus 6. After that, I'm going to be using my Windows Phone. Then after that, I'll show you what's on my Surface Pro 4. But let's go ahead and dive in to the Nexus 6. Get your jokes out of the way. It is a Nexus 6. I get it. It's old. I should have a Nexus 6P or at least a Samsung Galaxy S7 or something. Or I've heard it all pretty much because I hear it from myself in my own head. But it is what it is. The Nexus 6 for me, I like vanilla Android. It works, but it definitely has its downsides. The camera is slow. There should be more RAM. The battery life is actually better than I thought it was gonna be even a year later. Let's take a look at what's on the phone itself. So with regard to the home screen, I've kept it very icon based. Now you might say, well, if you like icons, why don't you use iOS? Well, sure, okay, fine, I like iOS, that's great, but there's underlining things with Android that you cannot do with iOS. That might be another conversation for another time. I'm a social media guy. I'm not a social butterfly per se, but I definitely want to keep in contact with all my friends and family and news feeds, know what's going on, what the trends are for the day. So right off the bat, I have my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and Snapchat. Underneath that, there are some more important things to me that I need to be able to access very, very quickly. I have a few internet at home devices, which you guys may or may not have seen some reviews on this channel, Lazy Tech TV, including the Netcam, the Canary, and the Ring video doorbell. These things will automatically notify me should there be motion when nobody's at the house or if there's somebody at the front door. But if I want to manually open up those applications, I don't want to have to flip through all the application pages or try to locate it somewhere else. I want it to be front and center. So I've got the 3 main cameras that I use, and then next to that I've got my 2 emails. So with Gmail, I do use Inbox, and I'm a very big believer in Inbox Zero. I try to keep my personal inbox decluttered, but then if you go ahead and open up my Lazy Tech TV email inbox, well, needless to say, it's not Inbox Zero. It's Inbox 9000, if you will. Now in my day job, I'm driving a lot. If I'm not in a store or training or something like that, I'm in my car. So I need to have access to my media very, very easily. My main source of entertainment are podcasts. So I love Pocket Cast. Although Google now has integrated podcast feeds within Google Play Music, I've gotten so used to Pocket Cast that it is the de facto podcast catcher for me on all of my platforms, including Windows 10. If you want some podcast recommendations, let me know. I'll respond to you in the comments. But under that as well too are my music. So music is also very important to me. I'm at the gym almost every day, and sometimes I listen to podcasts at the gym, but to get the blood pumping and, you know, get those weights going, I need some really grinding beast mode music. So I have 2 music sources, one of which is Amazon Prime. Now at first I wasn't going to use Amazon Prime Music whatsoever, but then I figured, well, why would I pay Google an extra $10 a month to get almost the same catalog of music if I get it for free with Amazon Prime? So then I just started using Amazon Prime. But I do have my own music that I'd like to upload as well too. And I've already uploaded a very large catalog to Google So I also have Google Play Music as well. So I do flip-flop between the two. And then I guess arguably I could put that same music catalog in Amazon Prime, but at this point I really don't care. I know where the music is, and if push comes to shove, I'll do it, but it's not the end of the world. Underneath that, I've got my news feed, OneDrive, Waze, and Maps right next to each other because, again, I'm always on the road, and then the Google Play Store. The Google Play Store being on the front and center is really because I'm the kind of guy who, if I've got nothing better to do, I'll just see if there's an application that needs to be updated. That's what I do. I don't know if you're the same kind of person, but I like my apps always updated. Plus, I'm in a lot of betas, so companies like Facebook and Google tend to update their betas almost every day, it seems. So I kind of have to go through that. And although if I'm connected to Wi-Fi, it will auto update, but sometimes when I'm not, I just want to update it just because. Now, the way that I've laid out my main 4 applications at the bottom might not be so foreign to you. You've got your phone. Next to that, I've got all my messaging. I'm really big into encrypted messaging, so in my opinion, although a lot of you might use Signal or Telegram, all my friends and family are on Facebook, and Facebook Messenger is encrypted. And for me to say, hey, if you like Facebook so much, you should do WhatsApp, because that's encrypted too. But that's just another thing that I have to convince them to do. So at least for me, getting them to download the Facebook Messenger is less pulling teeth than getting them to try something else. Text messaging, SMS, kill it, let it die, let it go away. Hangouts. I was a big proponent for Hangouts for the longest time. When it was Google Talk and G Talk, I was the one guy in my circle of friends that said this is gonna battle iMessage, and then they all kind of laughed at me. So I have it there because I do use as a means of communication with other bloggers and other people, but really for the most part, I've even convinced my wife to stop texting me on Hangouts because I have Facebook Messenger on everything, including my Windows Phone, because I can't get that on Windows Phone. And then GroupMe. That's more of a work thing. There is a GroupMe on Windows Phone, but even though it's a Microsoft product via Skype, it works much better on Android than it does on Windows Phone. Then next to the app button, whatever that's called, I forget, I've got my Google camera. Arguably, I should download manual camera or some other camera, but the stock camera's fine, I guess. They just recently updated it as of today, which is the 9th of May, maybe. So it's a little bit better, it's a little bit faster. The interface is a little bit better as well too. It does force close on me sometimes if there's a lot of stuff running in the background, but again, that's more of a hardware issue less than an application issue. And then lastly, I've got my Chrome browser right there. So those 4 applications, or rather those 4 things, because there's also that folder, are always going to be at the bottom because this is vanilla Google, vanilla Android. On my next page over, I've got all my streaming visual media. I've got my YouTube Kids for my daughter. So when my daughter wants to watch something and her phone is way far away, I don't want her My Little Pony stuff and cookie stuff in my recommended YouTube page. So I get her to use the YouTube Kids app and it separates it. It's so much better. Yes, there are ads. There's some ads here and there. It's not the worst thing in the world. Netflix, need I say more? Xfinity TV to go. Okay, so I'm not a complete cord killer. I haven't cut the cord completely, I guess. Arguably, it is cheaper for me to have both internet and TV. So because we have TV, I can use the Xfinity app, which I really just use for 2 shows, Big Bang Theory and Brooklyn 999, or 9999999 Brooklyn something. The cop show, and then IMDb. There's a lot of times where I'm watching a show on Netflix, I'm like, who is that guy? And then I'll just IMDb it right from there. That is something I kind of wish Netflix would do, and I know it's an Amazon property, and Amazon does it with their own Amazon Prime videos, and then Google does it with their own Google Play videos, but I kind of wish Netflix would do it for their videos somehow. It's a database. Work it out. Figure it out. Underneath that, what's this song? This is a feature that comes with Google, Google Now, I guess. It's kind of like Shazam or SoundHound, and Honestly, I really just put this widget here because I just wanted to take up some space. The Microsoft Health application is really meant in conjunction with my Microsoft Band, which is, oh, it's right here. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the Band is really good when it works. Band's already about a year old, and I was kind of beating up on it. I did some parkour and kind of crushed it. I don't really know. I mean, the screen is fine, but I think I ruined some of the internals. So the battery doesn't really last anymore, and it's kind of peeling on the inside. But that's the first Band. I do plan on buying a Band 2, but I do like the fitness aspect of it instead of it just setting notifications. So it's got sleep monitoring, heart rate monitoring, oxygen monitoring. I mean, it's got a lot. It's got a lot going for it. And then this is kind of a hodgepodge of applications. I've got OneNote, then I got my Starbucks application, and then I've got my Western Digital MyCloud, and right next to it I've got Plex, because those two things are kind of together. Plex, arguably, that application should be above the What's This Sound, but I don't have any space up there. Then I have Calculator. Underneath that, Masquerade's another Facebook application that allows you to put masks on top of you for photos, Clock, and then I have all the other photo editing applications. I try to keep applications that are related together. And so for a while, I just had the What's This Song, the Microsoft Health application, and then 2 rows of a gap with nothing. You would just see the background, and then I would have some of the photo editing applications. But then I started downloading some more photo editing applications that I would use on a daily basis. Definitely Snapseed is something I use daily before I upload to Instagram. Avery I'll use every once in a while because it does have some really good artsy capabilities that Adobe's put in there that I can't really find anywhere else. Layout, well, that's Instagram's layout grid application, which arguably I could just use photo grid for. I really don't know why I use layout. And then lastly, my last page is just going to be my calendar. So I like to have my calendar at my beck and call at any given time. So when you need to make an appointment with me to hang out at the bar, or if someone's having a baby shower like they do, or they're getting married like they do, I like to know what's going on that date instead of having to open up my app drawer, find the calendar. It's always going to be there in widget view. So that's my phone. That's what's on my daily driver on my Android device. Again, if I were to get a Nexus 6P or a Galaxy S7 or a G5, or if I were to start using my OnePlus 2 again, it would more than likely be the exact same layout. Layouts do depend on the size of the icons in conjunction and ratio to the size of the screen. So that does have to do a lot with it. But for me, it works. I mean, all my main applications, I know exactly where they are. Sometimes I forget that Photos is on the second page and not the first page, because for a long time my photo stuff used to be on the first page, but you know, you get used to it. I'm gonna do the Windows Phone and the Surface Pro 4 probably in the next few weeks or so, but yeah, hope you liked it. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, Pinterest, Feed, and if you have any questions, comments, or just want to say something, leave that in the section below, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Wait.